Hello. This is the video for the walkthrough demo for Debriefing for Resilience, sometimes referred to as Mourn, Celebrate, Learn. And that's because generally you're doing this because you have intrusive thoughts and you're not feeling good about what something that you've done, some interaction that you've had with someone, or just some action that you've taken. And so generally the voice that's the loudest in our head is the one that's mourning, that's not happy with what you did. So that's mourning is generally first. So mourn, celebrate, learn. And that's the map. So with a practice, I can do this by journaling. I can do it with I can just do it myself in my head. And I can do it with a practice partner. And this is for the practice partner demo. So in that context with the practice partner, you decide who's going to go first, and you do your self-connection practice. And then you just start talking to your partner. You tell them a little bit about the story, but practice seeing how little of the story. Can you do the story in less than a minute? Can you do the story in less than 25 words? That's the kind of the goal that you're looking for here, because none of these things are about the story. All of this is going to happen inside of you. The changes that are going to take place are inside of you, and you don't need to have a long story. And so your practice partner will be able to keep up amazingly without a lot of story. And the story takes time and is tedious. Then I just begin to talk. After a little bit of context, I begin to talk about what's upsetting me. Maybe talk about the judgments that I'm having about myself or about the other person, and then try to tease those out to find out how am I feeling about it right now and what needs were not met by what took place. And it's not just my conduct or just what I said, but it might be the other person, but typically it's about me. Man, I just, wish I'd have had more respect and consideration for the people around me. I got excited, I got upset, and then I snapped. Okay, but that's be an example. And often when you're mourning, you may have a stack of things that you're mourning, of specific observations of things that you've done. So if that's the case, the cue for that for your practice partner is that they seem to have made a guess that's landed. They're doing the listening exercise. And they may have made a guess that's landed with you, and then you take a breath and you go on to another. So that's in the wild also, when you're empathizing with a person and they just seem to have an endless supply, look to see if maybe you are supporting them to meet their need for empathy about this observation, but now they're moving on. So one of the things that you can learn from this as the practice partner who's talking is to help your practice partner keep up with you and say, yeah, that's it for that. And now as soon as you said that, I already had another thought of this, and then you go into dealing with the next thought, so that your practice partner is not just there thinking that they are not doing anything valuable and not contributing. So tell your practice partner when your practice partner has contributed to your understanding or your need for empathy. Okay, and then you're not gonna move in this, so I'm not gonna practice moving. But then you mark, okay, like there's some kind of, I'm full enough for right now. Maybe not, maybe I have more on this issue. This may be a multiple session kind of conversation. But I'm ready, given the practice, appointment of about an hour, maybe a little bit more. it's like in order to keep within that and maybe have time for your practice partner to also get some practice time in. You may not be completely done, but you've gotten some chunks of it done, and you've got your need for empathy met over those chunks defined by an observation. And then, like, celebrate. What is it what needs of yours were met? Now, often when we do this kind of work and we have the insight and the aha that comes from identifying the needs that were not met, it's like we're kind of like, oh, wow, we're ready to go. We don't need to celebrate. I encourage you to pause, and as a practice partner to pause and say, so is there just one thing that you want to celebrate? The other kind of thing that can happen is that it was such a train wreck by your estimation that you can't imagine anything there is to celebrate. And there, look for something like, I had the intention, I tried to do this. It didn't work out the way I wanted, but I can celebrate that what my intention was, where I was coming from, that kind of thing. Okay, so those are the two key pieces, and then you do your learn, plan, practice. What can I learn from this? Is there something that I want to plan about doing it better next time? And do I want to make agreements with myself, with other people? Do I want to write something? Do I want to do something? Do I want to go out and request further conversation with this person, or whatever? What is my plan? Meaning, what requests do I have of myself or others that I'm going to plan to make? And then practices, do one of the practices here about, like, practicing for a difficult conversation would be a key one. Okay, so that's it for that, and see you around.